Let's have a little roll call here.
After you join your conference, dial number sign.
Let's have a little roll call here. Okay. Hora, are you there?
We're here. Yes.
Colorado?
Yes, I'm here.
Jody and Sarita?
There.
We have also, Dr. Hora, we have somebody's answer machine on the line. Somebody in Redlands wanted to join the call, and we just called them, and their answer machine answered.
And that's what was answering.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's running. Anyway, this is our group. And those of you who haven't been on before, the way we work is that we'll have see if Dr. Hora has any comments, and then we'll start our questioning here in Orange and move around from location to location. So, Dr. Hora,
Yes.
as you know, we're discussing today the principles of metapsychiatry as prayers.
Yes.
And I believe everybody who's on the line had gotten the note.
Yes.
Would you care to make any comments before we start the questions?
Well, I think that here for me to make a comment, maybe the best will keep going forward. Let's go straight to the question.
Okay. Actually, whoever wants to ask the question up here in Orange, let's move a chair right here before the thing. Who wants to start off? Marilyn, good. Come on up.
Dr. Hora,
Yes.
my name is Marilyn Hinton.
Yes, Madeline.
I have always been under the assumption that prayer is not asking
Yes.
for anything.
Right.
And many people seem to fall into that category of asking for something and then hoping that maybe it happens or doesn't happen.
Yes. Yes.
Can you give me another way to approach prayer?
Well, you meant I really understand prayer as an endeavor to gain greater clarity on what healing is. And conscious awareness of divine reality has its blessing. Because our eyes are open and we see more clearly what the Buddha taught, and that it is a experience and some kind of a reward.
Dr. Hora,
That
excuse me, we have to interrupt for a minute. We have an echo on the line.
Yes, yes.
If you just all hang on, I'll get the operator to fix it from within this line. Just all stay on the line.
Okay.
okay.
Sorry for the interruption. We'll proceed now.
As the same electromagnetly too.
Yeah.
Conference control has been trained to 7, run, 4, 9, 7, 4, 9, 4, 7, run.
Tickles my funny bone.
Just move your chairs up, son. I think we're through with the recording now.
What was that?
Wow.
No.
Are we all right now?
Yes, I think we're all right.
Okay. If I remember the question, it was concerning a petitionary prayer. Yes? Marilyn asked the question.
Yes.
We could ask another question. How is it possible that in time immemorial people assume that prayer is a way of petitioning God or telling God what He should do for us? But apart from this being a very childish notion connected with a primitive and immature fantasy about what God is, whenever we pray with some so-called good result, we have the impression that we have been rewarded by some deity. If we do God a favor, then God rewards us. We get brownie points for faith. That you see this is very nice and charity. So God, in mental psychiatry, we have said God is not a reward and punishment system, but God is an ill system. So when we contemplate the principle or meditate to see divine reality, something happens in our consciousness and we become get glimpses of what healing is. And what healing is our perfect universe. And that has its own beneficial consequences. I'm afraid the echo has third message.
Yes, there's something.
So let's ask again. Let's petition the telephone.
Dr. Hora, let's just make the connection again from the start.
Okay, I'll speak it up.
Everybody hangs up and we'll call again.
All right.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It looks clear now.
Yeah, we get to the operator is going to
Countdown.
shift, the countdown. You get the shift of the control center, I think, in a minute.
Okay.
No, maybe this is it. Are we all connected now?
I'm here.
Yes, Teresa?
Yes.
Go high?
Hi.
Yeah. All right, well, let's just proceed then.
All right.
Dr. Hora,
Yes, is it Marilyn?
I'm wondering if I might move to my second question.
Okay, Marilyn.
I was a little concerned that when one began to pray, whether you should focus on using words that bring out the clarity, that bring out strength, that bring out power and conviction in what you're trying to focus on, or if it's better to let your thoughts flow more effortlessly and try to stay less focused on a situation and try to be more open with just the good or the bad in the universe, or do you become more focused with words?
Well, Marilyn, as you know, in psychoanalysis, there is a technique which is called free association. You heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that if we would just let our thoughts flow without any focus, then we would not be praying.
Mm-hmm.
We would be engaged in so-called free association.
Mm-hmm.
Conference control has been transferred to 719749743.
Okay.
All right already.
Well, before we were absolutely
We were talking about pre-association,
Okay,
and that's let me find.
yes. Now, we have to, you see, Jesus gave us a direction. He gave direction to our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and he taught us how to pray.
Mm-hmm.
And in metapsychiatry, we are students of Jesus' teaching, and we seek to understand it in terms of present-day epistemology. In other words, we are trying to understand what prayer really is. And we have outgrown the childish notion of petitionary prayer because we have attained a different understanding of God. God is not a big daddy in the sky who will reward us for reciting certain words or for behaving ourselves in certain ways. What we all need is to understand reality. And in proportion as we catch a glimpse of reality, we discover the perfect goodness of God's creation, and that discovery, that awareness, has its beneficial consequences in the form of healing. And so we have an impression that our prayers were heard. But that's just an impression. What happens is that we have been able to catch a glimpse of what really is. And our perspective on life has improved in terms of reality. And that's the great blessing. Therefore, the principles which endeavor to promote our understanding of God and God's creation. And everything that is aimed at clarifying and helping us to see more clearly what God is and what God's creation is always a prayer. Even, the metapsychiatric section, an individual session or a group session, is not really therapy. It is a prayer. Because the aim of the session is to bring more clarity into awareness about the nature of God's creation and our place in it. So you could consider even this telephone conference a collective prayer, because it's not free association, it is focused attentiveness. Do you have a third question, Marilyn?
I'd like to give you an example on that question.
Yes.
For instance, my mother may be very ill,
Yes.
and I was to pray for her.
Yes.
But in my prayers, I'm wondering if I pray to make her body, or pray to have God, and somehow realize that whatever illness or sickness is in her body is not the truth about her. And that in terms of uniting her spirit with the universe and making her whole and pure can alleviate whatever, the problem is, or do my prayers focus just specifically on her in terms of alleviating, more specifically just in terms of clarity of her own upset, whatever it is in her life. Do you understand what I mean?
I think so, Marilyn. I think you are trying to understand how intercessory prayer works.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
I think so.
That's what you're really asking, no?
Uh-huh.
You would like to pray for your mother.
Uh-huh.
Well, intercessory prayer works through your consciousness to the extent that you are able to behold the perfection of God's creation. In your consciousness, you are in proportion that you're able to see your mother in God's perfect unity. Now that awareness in your consciousness can communicate itself subliminally without words to your mother's consciousness. And without her realizing it, she can gain a better viewpoint on reality. And in proportion to that event, there may occur a healing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the Psalm there is a line which says, "Open thou mine eye, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law." It is essentially what prayer is. It is an endeavor to open our eyes to behold the perfection of God's universe. And our place in it, or your mother's place in it, or anyone else who has asked you for prayer. And that's how intercessory prayer works. From one consciousness to another, a communication takes place on a subliminal level.
I got it. Thank you.
Good, Mario.
Okay, let's move on now up to Ojai and see if anybody up there has a question.
We have a new student today, Pam. Her name is Fran, and she's from Canada. Here she is.
Hi, Fran.
Hi.
Hello, friend.
Hello, Dr. Hora.
Go ahead. Say something.
Something Canadian. After you become aware that everyone is here for God, I'd like some clarification about how to proceed, but I sort of felt that in your answer to Marilyn, you answered a lot of that a lot of how I proceed is subliminally, is seeing them as perfection in God's universe.
Yes, that's right, friend. That's right. Now, interesting thing is that this subliminal communication cannot be willed. We cannot say, "I'm gonna do it now."
Yeah.
We can just hope that it will occur in proportion to our sincerity and unadulterated love. It happens. You don't really do it.
So you give us the whole idea of fixing the world.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Along that line, it came to mind that it probably is important too. Then, if we don't have the idea that we want that other person to see something,
Yes,
is that correct?
we cannot want anything. We can only be fervently interested in seeing ourselves. And as our vision clears, this blesses us and blesses another too.
Would it be correct then, Dr. Hora, to say that actually what we're always dealing with then is a picture in our own consciousness and not somebody out there that we're trying to see change? Is that
And,
correct?
but we must be careful not to speak about picture,
Ah,
right? If it's not a picture, then the moment we try to picture something, we are creating our own universe, our own reality. But as you know, divine reality is one-dimensional. Therefore, it is impossible to make a picture of it.
Yeah, I was thinking more that like our mother's illness is a picture that we have in our consciousness that we want to be dissolved,
That's right.
but we don't replace it with another picture.
No, no.
Yeah.
We transcend that picture.
Uh-huh. And in the transcending, then the whole mental thing dissolves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's one of the greatest difficulties on the spiritual journey, because we have to move from a dimensional appearance world into a non-dimensional reality of spiritual perfection. And that is called transcendence. And it's not easily realized. It takes a great deal of study and meditation until consciousness evolves sufficiently to understand that there is a reality which has no dimension. It's neither time nor space, that nor matter nor phenomena, and yet our consciousness has to be able to behold it. That's why we speak about the prayer of beholding. When we behold God's presence and creation, we don't see any form or formlessness. What we see is spiritual idea, spiritual qualities, and spiritual values. You cannot use your imagination, you cannot visualize it, and you cannot fantasize about it, nor draw a picture of it. And that's what is so difficult about it.
Rita, did you have a question?
Well, I'm just thinking the principles really are, they provide a doorway, don't they, for when we are stuck in church thinking and want thinking, and we start to pray. If we focus on the principles and enter into the meaning of the principles, that lifts us into toward reality, doesn't it?
That's right, Marita. That's right.
Is that right?
Yes, that's why we seek out the principles as prayer. Anything that helps us to understand divine reality is a prayer.
Mm. How is Epiphany different from Revelation?
No different.
No different. And also, another question was, when does a statement such as the prayer of glowing become a prayer?
When it is correctly understood. Otherwise, it's just poetry.
Is the prayer when we begin to become lifted out of our personal sense,
Yes,
then a statement can become a prayer at that point?
yes, when it transforms our perspective. When we can see the unclear, as the Apostle Paul says, you look not upon the things which are seen, but upon the things which are not seen.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Sarita.
Jody, it's your turn.
Okay. What I was wondering is, we start with a statement with, like principles. We start, you mentioned in the paper, Anne, that it isn't just memorizing the principles, but that's the first step, isn't it? That we start with the memorization.
No, you don't have to memorize.
Well, you come to know them as by memory just because you are contemplating them, I guess.
Oh, yes, but you don't approach it with any intention to memorize.
I see.
Yes.
Well, I was
With
wondering,
intention to understand.
attention to understand.
Yes.
Now, before we come to the point of really understanding the principles,
Yes.
can they nevertheless be a basis for our life? For instance, to take the third principle, there is no interaction anywhere. There is only omni-action. We could say that till doomsday and not understand it.
That's right.
And we could have some faint idea that this is important to understand.
Yes.
And we can live in the world and see interaction everywhere. But if we remind ourselves that this is just an appearance,
Yes.
and if we can not look at interaction as anything important or serious,
Yes.
will the understanding eventually come if we keep reminding ourselves as we find ourselves living our daily lives?
But certainly that is a very important step. Jody, but we can also ask somebody to help us understand better the details which are involved, to understand what the illusion is, what the phenomena are, and what we really mean by omni-action.
Yes, that's a good question. What do we really mean by omni-action? Supposing we're involved in an seemingly interactional situation, what do we mean by omni-action?
Right. Well, then we remember that in meta psychiatry you have somewhere read that in the realm of love intelligence there is neither self nor other.
Mm-hmm.
There is only that which really is, namely omni-active, infinite, divine mind, the only power and the only source of wisdom. And so we replace the interaction of illusory life, illusory world, with a consciousness of the divine mind, that's the only reality. And the more often we shall do it not by rote, but with a sincere interest in understanding this, the more effective it will be.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty soon you will not get caught up in ruminating over what somebody said and what they meant and what you said and what she said and what another is told. And you will become aware of the principle of the universe. And pretty soon you will see that everything has miraculously gotten straightened up.
Mm-hmm. So that we will come to the point where even when we are seemingly in the midst of interaction, we will not be affected by it.
Right, of course. We will transcend it quickly without getting bogged down.
And will we come to know these laws, these spiritual laws, as well as we base our life on the law of gravity, for instance, our physical life is everywhere, as Anne says.
Yes,
And are these principles that we are endeavoring to understand, are they?
you may come to know it so well that you may start floating.
Okay. Thank you.
That was the Zen master said, that the enlightened man walks 2 inches above ground.
Yes, yes,
He's not dragged down by gravity.
yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome to.
Dr. Hora, this is Fern in Orange.
Yes, sir. Not guilty.
No, not still beef. I drove up here today. I had a question also about, I think it's about intercessory prayer. I had an experience yesterday where it seemed like out of the blue, an individual came to mind. And it occurred to me, in that moment, I got a glimpse of what I thought was omni-action, like how could, out of nowhere, this individual come to mind?
Yes.
And it was a woman that I had worked with just on the phone. I think she still lives in a nursing home and has physical problems, but she's studying on her own and meditating on her own with metapsychiatry.
Yes.
And she calls once in a while and will tell me how she's doing or discuss something.
Yes.
And I could see that when an individual comes to our thought, the first tendency is to think of them as another person besides ourselves, to think of the situation that we know them in, which is usually an interaction, to think of the picture of their lives, and I mean picture in the sense of that they have a life of their own, we have a life of our own, and the whole context is one of interaction.
Yes.
And yet, I would like to understand, in this instance, could you explain how omni-action is at work here and what the purpose is or the meaning is of this individual coming to mind?
It is possible that this individual is reaching out to you for help at that moment of some kind. And as far as this business of always seeing everything in terms of interaction, it is inevitable but not necessary. The moment we become aware of an interaction thought, no matter in what context, we must quickly shift our attention to the omni-active view of reality. In reality, this is not a relationship between you and this lady, but this lady is in the context of God, and in her consciousness she is seeking probably help, some kind of a spiritual help or guidance.
So then omni-action is working in the sense of letting us know that our prayer is needed at that moment.
Well, that's possible, yes. But always we must keep shifting our thoughts away from interaction to omni-action. That will make you a true beneficial presence in the world, because every thought which occurs to you will immediately be shifted into the divine context in which we see their life, and that is a blessing to us and to others.
Well, it occurred to me that this is the basis of ceaseless prayer, that if every time a situation or an individual came to our thought, we were to seek that principle that there is no interaction anywhere, even when it was someone we had just spoken to or a loved one or a mate or a child.
Right.
And shift to see that there are no two people, but there is omni-action at work, that would be our ceaseless prayer.
Exactly.
And we would be fulfilling our potential as a beneficial presence in the world,
That's right.
wholly in consciousness, which is not the way we usually think of it.
Yes. Yes, this is the essence of being a beneficial presence.
Well, thank you. That was very helpful.
You're welcome, sir.
Anybody else?
Could I ask a question again?
Surely.
Is our consciousness the same thing as our thoughts?
No. Our thoughts are the content of our consciousness,
Okay, right.
Josie.
Yes, thank you.
May I ask a question? Captiva?
Captiva, sure.
Captiva?
Captiva.
Are there two consciousnesses? Fern's consciousness, the lady's consciousness, Marilyn's consciousness, her mother's consciousness. These are parts of divine consciousness, are they not?
That's correct.
The one infinite mind,
Yes, right.
and though they may appear to be on opposite sides of the world, they're still one,
Yes, of course.
instantaneous.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
In fact, it occurs to me that this kind of telephone hookup is only a kind of a rough symbolic approximation of the oneness of consciousness.
Of course, right. The time and space is a body.
Right.
Call another location. Dial international location. Dial 011. Country code and national number. Star and hang up.
A very,
Dial number star. Dial now.
what? No. A rough approximation. Very rough.
Hello, Dr. Hora. It's Roberta in Orange. Hello?
Call another location. Dial 1 plus the area code and telephone number.
What pound sign? Hello? Hello, Dr. Hora?
Read instructions after you join your conference. Dial number sign.
Let's try again.
Hello, Dr. Hora?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. We thought we'd lost you. This is,
Whatever, you're that type.
there is on the action. This is Roberta in Orange. I have a question concerning the principles.
Have we answered Josie's question?
I don't,
I guess I didn't hear it. Let her go ahead.
well,
Yes.
Josie, let's first try to answer your question.
All right,
And
fine.
then Roberta.
All right. It was about the prayer of going. Sometimes as I am using that prayer in meditation,
Yes.
I'm aware that there's a thought at the same time as, well, I don't really, this isn't really so. When I say I and my Father are one, I don't really understand that.
Yes.
And then it seems to me that it is simply an affirmation rather than a prayer.
Yes.
And will it eventually, will it become more than an affirmation?
Yes. Well, what's the difference between an affirmation and a prayer?
Well, to me, an affirmation is something I hope is so. I will affirm something, hoping that if I affirm it, that perhaps it will sink in somehow, and I will come to know it.
Yes.
And a prayer, it seems to me, is more of attempting to be receptive.
That's right, Josie. So you understand it. So when you are reciting the prayer of glory, you can recite it in an affirmative way or in a contemplative way.
So if it come to my attention that I'm reciting it in an affirmative way, I can just immediately cut that off and say, no, this is...
It is like, when you affirm it, you say, I am gonna now, I will make 2 and 2 to be 4.
Yes.
I'll make it so.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right, thank you.
okay, this is Roberta.
Yes, Roberta.
I have a question concerning the variation in my receptivity to the principle. Most of the time I say the principles and I contemplate the principles, and I'm very grateful that they are. This week I had a cold and still have it and a fever. And I found the thought came to me, I really don't care about the principles. And I kept the whole week reading and praying the principles, contemplating the principles, and just I realized that they were just words suddenly. And the thought came to me that I must be so ego involved at this moment, so confirming of myself, that I've moved so far away that I can't even see them nor appreciate them.
Yes. Yes.
And I'd like to understand that, because in just a few days, let's see, last week, they were very, very important to me, and I seem to be extremely receptive to them. And I've had many moments this week with the cold and the fever where they were just words.
Yes.
And I'd like to understand what was going on.
Well, you could ask the first intelligent question.
What is the meaning of what seems to be?
Right.
What is the meaning of what seems to be that the principle?
I am curious that my children.
Yes, I'm thinking of that the whole week.
I am so angry at them that I cannot appreciate anything else.
So the anger
That is just
took over the
temporary emotional upheaval which will disappear when you face the fact that it is not justified. And it is nothing. Because your children belong to God.
yes.
And you have no claim on their loyalty for yourself. You belong to God too, and it is there where your good needs to be sought.
I think.
In that moment, the principle suddenly will reappear as a blessing.
When I put things in a proper context,
Exactly.
I see.
Sure.
and out of context, everything is just... No, I see. I understand. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Could we say then, Dr. Hora, this is Fern, that God helps those who let him, but our heart is set on something else.
You bet.
And so if it's not getting through and there's no prayerfulness, then we really have to say, what is my heart set on?
That's right. Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, hi. Do you have any further questions up there?
Is Michael there? Yes, Dr. Well, why don't you say something? Can you write that?
Dr. Hora, this is May.
Yes, sir.
When you were speaking earlier, you made the statement that when we're aware of interactions, thinking no matter what, we should attention to reality
Yes.
from the action.
Right. Quickly.
Quickly.
I must emphasize quickly, because the more we dilly-dally, the more difficult it is to shift.
What is the meaning of dilly-dallying?
Ruminating or dwelling or wasting time on interaction thoughts.
That seems to address what I was going to ask in the paper and refer to the prayer of right seeing, that everything and everyone are here for God, whether they know it or not.
Yes.
And I have, for years, probably the last 2 or 3 years, been aware when I use that statement, and that's what I'm doing, is using it so I don't have a reverence for that statement or that prayer, that it seems to bring with it an arrogant, haughty mode at that time. That my thought is, well, they're here for God and they just don't know it.
Yes.
What is needed and what's helpful to bring reverence and respect with the prayer of right thing.
So, well, the moment you said they just don't know it, you ask yourself, do I know it? That's you doing the rightful thing.
Okay. And so I realized that I don't know it. What to begin?
Hello?
Yes?
So Jay, say the question again.
Dr. Rose, when I realized that I don't know that I'm here for God, what is needed?
What is needed is more sincerity. Radical sincerity.
Dr. Hora, could we ask for a few more moments since we ran into, lost some time with the technology?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, thank you. Oh, hi, is there anybody else? Michael, did you have come up with your question?
Yes. He's working on it.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Hora.
You're welcome, Jay.
Dr. Hora, this is Marilyn Hinton again.
Yes, Marilyn?
I was wondering if you pray for some change to take place in the universe and it doesn't happen, do you then pray for yourself?
You pray for some change to happen in the universe. Who are you, God?
Yes, as a matter of fact, an expression. For instance, the same example, if my mother is sick
Yes.
and I pray for her wellness.
Mother seems to be sick.
Yes, my mother seems to be sick, and I pray so that the truth about her is present, and she does not do well.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you treat for yourself. You pray for yourself at that point.
You always pray for yourself
Uh-huh.
at all points.
Oh, even when I'm praying for my mother?
Yes, of course. You are praying for the ability to see the perfection of life in the context of God.
I see.
That's what intercessory prayer is.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hora, this is Jody again.
Yes, Josie.
Whenever we pray, we are never praying for a change, are we? Aren't we praying to see the good that already is?
Exactly, that's right. Nothing needs to be changed. Everything, everywhere is already perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it the quality of radical sincerity that determines our rising into prayer?
Rising into prayer.
Being able to enter more into the infinite mind?
Enter into infinite mind.
To transcend personal thinking.
To transcend personal thinking, yes?
Yes.
Charity is very helpful. Charita.
Thank
you. You're welcome.
Dr. Hora, I'd like to pursue for just a minute something along the line that is raised very often and has in this hour of the issue of actual realization and the concern with whether or not I am actually seeing at this moment. And when you just spoke about that we're never praying for a change, it seems as if sometimes we really are more interested in changing how I am seeing. That is, as if somehow we get distracted from loving the truth that the principles point to into a concern with, but am I really seeing this? And wanting more a change of feeling or something for ourselves. Is that possible? Is that a kind of a secret self-confirmatory thing that comes in at some time?
Well, if you ask, am I really seeing this? this is a humble recognition of the difficulty that we cannot make it happen. That we have to be receptive to an expansion of our awareness. And we are interested in that. And we cannot take credit for it happening.
Right. It seems like sometimes I almost say, like, I don't even care if it's really true if I can't see it. Something along that line, I guess, is what I was thinking.
Well, what you care about or you don't care, God doesn't care.
Right.
So,
That's the point. That
we are in a situation where we are suffering within this human condition, and all of us are interested in being lifted out of it so that we can behold reality. And it is under duress that our interest is awakened to this.
Right. Okay, thank you. Is there anybody on any? Okay, here's a question in orange.
Dr. Hora, this is Georgiana.
Yes, Dana.
I was wondering, it's kind of part of what Ann is asking. I found myself last week struggling with an issue, and I said I need to just be a transcendent observer and pay attention to my thoughts and then see the meaning of what this behavior is all about. And so I struggled with it for a couple of days, and then fortunately a mind shift took place, and I was then back into being able to see spiritual ideas.
Yes.
And what I was wondering, during the time when I'm struggling with my issue, I had several people who came to me with their issue and needing healing.
Yes.
And the thought